Hey guys, so one of the first things that I work on with the dogs when they are dropped off on their drop-off day as we start their board and train programs is introduction to the crate, threshold exercises, getting the dog tuned in, calmed down, understanding how to follow the leash rather than pulling and bracing it against it. And we also like to jump into the remote collar heel right away as well. But what I've started doing with both Josie and Pepper is introducing them to the crate. So Pepper hasn't been crated before. Josie has been in a crate, but she was very, very anxious about it in the past, and she hasn't been crated because of that. So what we're going to do with both girls, but especially with Josie, is teach her how to feel really great about the crate and how to make it really wonderful and delicious and pleasant to go in there by using some food. You'll see that I have some nice comfortable dog beds in there. We'll also hang a water bucket for them in each of their crates. So what I'm doing with Josie and Pepper is teaching them how to go in on command and how to wait for an invitation to come out of the crate. And every time she goes in and is nice and calm and following my guidance, I'm going to be rewarding her with food while she's in the crate. I'm also going to feed them all of their extra meals. So the food that we don't use for training, whatever's left over, they'll be eating all of that in the crate as well, so that we can continue to condition a nice positive association between the food and the comfort of being in their crate. So I've already done a little bit of work with them, going in and out of the crate, but I'll just show you a little bit about what we've done. So I'm going to use the door to help me. So I'm going to open the door and expect Josie to stay put. If she stays put, I'm going to reach in and reward her for that. If she were to come forward, I would have just simply closed the door and blocked her with the door. And repeated that over and over until she understood that what I'm looking for is her to wait patiently. So it shouldn't matter to Josie whether the door is open or not. The door is not really her business. What we want from Josie is her focused on me, waiting for that invitation to invite her out. That's what is her business. Let's go. Come on, Josie. Let's go. Come. So she is very comfortable in there. Let's go. Which is a wonderful thing. Good girl. Wanted to stay in there. I really had to coax her out, so that's excellent. Beginnings of a beautiful relationship with her crate, because the crate is super, super important for all dogs lifelong, especially dogs like these girls who have struggled with reactivity, barking at random noises and sights. We want to always use our crate overnight so the dogs sleep in their crate, and also whenever we're not home to provide the structure that the dogs need in order to make sure that they're staying calm and not becoming reactive. So if we're not home to correct reactivity and guide our dogs into calmer choices, then they need to be in the crate, because the crate gives them that structure by confining the actual space, making sure that they're calm and comfortable, because that's what we've been conditioning for them in there, and preventing them from practicing that reactivity that happens when the dog has too much freedom to roam. Let's go, Josie. So when I want her to go back in, I'm just going to guide her in with the leash. Let's go, sweets. Come in. Come. Good. Let's go. Come. Come. Good. When she goes in the crate, I'm again going to reward her with the food. So at this point, we don't want to be dragging her in the crate. I just want to apply gentle leash guidance in the direction of going in the crate. When she steps forward, I release that leash pressure just a little bit to let her know she was on the right track. We repeated that, I think it was 3 steps, and then she understood where I was asking her to go and just willingly went into the crate, at which time rewarded her with some food for making that really great effort. So there's an instant where she started leaning towards the door. Had I left it open, she would have come right out. But instead of allowing her to do that, I'm going to block her with the door and let her know, I don't want you coming out just because the door's open. I want you just waiting until I invite you. This time she waits, so I'm going to reward her. Good job. Let's go. Come on. Good girl. And this is what I refer to as crate exercises. This is a super, super fun An important little way we can start teaching our dogs how to tune into us and how to follow our guidance. We can start teaching them about impulse control by the way that I make her wait before she comes out and go in when I ask her to. It's the start of all the great things that we want to build on during her board and train program. Come on, Jose, let's do it again. Great, good girl. A little bit easier that time. With every rep, it gets easier and easier, and you'll notice how calm she is because she's getting guidance on what she should do and lots of help and direction. So she doesn't have to wonder and worry about what she should do because I'm kind of telling her all of that. You'll also see that Pepper over here is incredibly relaxed, just hanging out and chilling in her crate, which is what we want dogs to do when they're in there. So I'm going to go ahead and reward Pepper too for being nice and calm. Nope. Good. Let's go. Come on. After a few more reps, what we're going to find is that Josie will be running in and out on her own just on the word crate, anticipating that reward once she's inside. Come on, sweets, let's go. Crate. Good. Good job. Let's go. Come on. Good, Jose. Let's go. Great. Good. I also like to practice closing the door, leaving it closed for a few seconds, opening in it, inviting them in and out before I leave them in there for the first time, just so that they understand the rules of the crate, how it works, and that it's nothing to be worried about. Nice patient waiting, so we're going to reward that. Good job. Let's go. Come on. Good. Let's go, Jose. Great. Good. Both Josie and Pepper are very food motivated. Food is a wonderful tool to help us in introducing our dogs to new obedience commands. There's lots of dogs though that aren't food motivated, meaning that they won't take food when you offer it to them. They kind of pick at their meals. They're not really turned on or excited by food. So in cases with dogs that we can't leverage food to help us condition them to things like the crate, we're just going to go ahead and do the exercises without the food. It'll work. I just find that when you do have a dog that loves food, it's a really great tool to help expedite the process a little bit. Good. Let's go. Come on, Jose. Let's go. Good girl. Just come. Great. Sit. Good girl. Great work, good girl. When our dogs are going to be in the crate and stay in the crate, we want to make sure that they're always naked in there. So we're going to take all collars and all leashes off. We don't want anything to stay on our dog in the crate unless we need to leave the e-collar on. So there's sometimes in the beginning that dogs may be a little bit whiny or protesty in the crate, and after they've been introduced to the e-collar, conditioned and trained, we can then leave the e-collar on and use it to help us get the dog settled in the crate. We haven't introduced e-collar to these girls yet, so they're just going to be naked in there. If there's any whining, we'll just interrupt that whining with our, I call them our low-tech options. One of my favorite low-tech options is a pop can with a few pennies in it. This is a trick that I often use for puppies. If there's nonsense in the crate, give it a quick rattle, and it usually interrupts that.